Hello out there in Radio Land. Let's see here. How?
What do we see?
Wow, that seems loud now.
Are
Are we too loud? Hello?
Oh, wow.
Was the thing on?
Seriously.
What up? Let's see here. Okay, that's up. This is up. Farts are up. Yeah.
A little rocket fart.
That was not what that was. I guess I should hit record because it says here press record.
That is the first option. The second line on the
Yeah, let's do that.
word.
So it's done.
Done.
Officially recording for posterity. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got the feed up now. I forgot.
Yeah, I need different mic setups because I feel like I'm always like looking through the mic at the notes.
Yeah, I can feel
Oh, I need a
something.
pen too.
Yeah, I was going to grab a pen. I'll grab it. I'll grab it.
It's all right.
Okay.
All right, fine. Fine, whatever.
Well,
Fine, bitch, whatever.
deuces.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, start that. Come on, man. God. Ugh. Oh my God. You're blowing it. Whew. All right, we did it.
I did it.
Yeah. What's up, Kale? Yeah, Capcom is looking good. That's the temporary location until I can figure out how or where I'm going to mount it. I might get some like feet or something that like I can wedge it into or something so it can sit there. It's not a terrible place for it. I like it. It's just setting up against the head right now. So Jay has to be very careful, which he's not ever.
No.
He's a fucking dump truck. All right. What we got? 8:59. See, I need that clock mounted there so I'll know. It's 8:59 and oh, look at this.
I could see it.
Oh, hold on. I don't know what I'm doing.
What a surprise.
All right. Yeah, it's true. I don't. We ready to get this joint started?
Let's do the Spike Lee joint.
Yeah, here, let's move that. I got to put this here.
Mute this.
In 3. I don't talk over it. You're the one who always talks over it.
I need to be muted.
You can still hear it through here. Welcome back to the Lost Joystick Network, episode 22. We have a new studio engineer.
Yeah, why are we acting like this is like some big organized... Other than it looking really cool, we're a fucking train wreck, so I don't know why we're acting like
Jay's over here trying to be the new studio engineer. He's like pressing buttons and pointing at people and stuff, and I'm like, okay, roll with it. Let's go. Yeah, use take one. That's cool. Anyway, speaking of Jay, yeah, I am your host, Mike, joined always by my co-host, Jay. Jay, how are you?
Amazing. How are you?
Good. Watch the table there. You just bang the table. Those Saturn cases will go flying.
Bull in the China shop.
Not cheap. Not cheap.
Why do you put you put those on the table?
Idea. I got an idea. Well, where am I going to put it?
I don't know. You got the Capcom logo behind me?
All right. Yeah, well, look. You're just going to... Ooh,
Bro.
that one's got the...
What was that?
Shut up.
I got this one.
Yeah, I'll trust you with that one. I don't.
This is the expensive one.
Anyway, so, yeah, welcome back. We've been gone for, 3 weeks now, I guess?
Oh,
That's
something
not
like that.
centered at all. You're terrible. Look up here. Look at, there you go. Better.
A little closer?
Better. No, you had it. Stop. Okay, good.
Right there?
This one's got to come in.
Yeah, come on. Slacking, man.
There. Okay, good enough.
Get with it.
So we've gone about 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're trying to get back into our bi-weekly rhythm.
We will. I feel like we just had to... I had to get back to this week. This is the week we need to do the show for me because it makes my life easier from a post-edit perspective. So, with that being said, it's been 3 weeks. I'm going to start with you.
That'd probably be better because I'm going to be quicker than you are.
Yeah, but we also have to talk to somebody in this segment that we would not normally speak to at this point. But I'm going to start with you first because I know you don't have a whole lot going on with your collection or in life or anything really.
Wow, thanks.
No problem. Okay,
Sound like a total
over to you.
D-bag. So, Thanks. No,
Anytime.
I really don't. I don't have anything crazy going on. So, only things from a collecting update. I haven't gotten anything Super Nintendo. I'm slacking on that. I need to go over to Kyle's and get some stuff from him.
Yeah, it was.
Over at Retro Replayed.
I offered.
I know I need to go over there. I just haven't been over to Kyle's.
Yeah, well,
I need to go over there.
You have to make time for your friends.
I do. I miss Kyle. We need to have him on the show.
Who?
Kyle.
Which one?
From Retro Replay.
Oh, I know him.
Kyle Mojito.
Yeah, we'll talk about him later.
Yes. I did pick up a record from Jerry downstairs over the weekend.
Jack's Record Stash, Flint, Michigan,
Yes,
First Street.
Best place around.
He's got a Discogs count. Scoop it out.
He does.
Or scope it, whichever it is. I don't remember. I had too many.
Either way. That's whatever the young kids say these days.
Yeah.
But no, I picked up Refused Shape of Punk to Come. One of my old favorite. They repressed it recently. So I grabbed that from him. Actually, I have 3 new records, not officially in hand, but they will be delivered tomorrow, Jerry told me. But I have Run the Jewels 2, which I misspoke on the last show. I had gotten 1 and 3, and I said 1 was red and black. It was actually translucent orange. I don't know what the hell I was talking about.
I always assume that. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's pretty safe. Clearly, it's a safe assumption. But I got that. So Run the Jewels 2 is going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he ordered me The Cult, Sonic Temple.
Fire.
Amazing rock band. So, yes, favorite song. Okay, I'm not liking it anymore. And then he also ordered a copy of Mr. Bungle's California for me.
Finally.
Yeah, no, I need to get on that
Get
one.
good, poser.
So I'll have those. They should be here within the next 24 hours.
Nice.
Other than that, I don't have anything.
Well, I'm going to use that as an opportunity that during the intro, we would not normally call somebody, but we got to make a phone call.
Done.
So I'm about to do that. Let me make sure this is working. Are our levels good, sound engineer?
Looking good over here.
All right, ready?
I'm on a union break, so I hope it's good. Sounds good.
Better. That's a bad spot for that.
Yeah, it was. Hindsight's 2020.
Oh,
Oh, welcome to the Terror Dome. Robbie Coleman, 8-Bit Supremacy, joining us in the How Was Your Week segment.
yeah, here I am.
All right, good talking to you.
All right, see you later.
I just let that one breathe for a little while. I wanted to toss in some kind of a Public Enemy reference, and that was the best one I could come up with. I thought it was all right.
No.
Yeah, that's all right.
I didn't see you doing anything over there, sitting around just watching.
I was trying to figure out what the hell you were doing. Normally you do the whole from the windy cities of Chicago.
I wanted to do something different. This is what I get from deviating from the norm.
It is.
This is what happens.
You know I don't like change.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Robbie, you're fucking my groove up too.
Whether it's the podcaster's underwear.
I'll hang up and call back. Do over.
What did I miss?
let's do
Start
this.
over. No starting over, John. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna talk to Robbie a little bit early. Robbie's got a
Well,
he's got some stuff to do. So
That's fine. That
I
just
may
gives
or may
more
not
time
have
for
stuff
John.
to do.
so we're gonna talk to you now. We might talk to you again later.
Yeah, because I'm getting progressively more lazy and it's raining really bad in Chicago. So I'm thinking of this again.
So this is just a nice hello and how was your week? And then maybe we'll have you back on in a little bit with John for our rating segment.
This is cutting.
Are you
It's
thinking?
kind of,
This is cutting into Robbie's time.
yeah, it's kind of just me trying to punk out of this episode because I've never once played Death.
Look, we do not have to tell people that. Okay, I've tried to not tell people, but you just put yourself on blast. That's fine. You want to put it out there?
It's all right, man. I don't want any bias. I don't want any judgment.
Too late.
We got to start the episode over,
Look,
John.
you think you can get no bias and no judgment with that mustache toting around Milwaukee, buddy? You're wrong. Okay, there's no way.
It commands respect.
It does, exactly. People immediately are like, you know what? Whatever that guy has to say, I'm listening.
People that dominate with E Honda command respect.
Yeah, we'll talk about
yeah.
that. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll get to that. So, Mr. Coleman, 8-Bit Supremacy, how are you?
I'm well.
Good.
I've been what? It's been 4 days since I saw you last.
I know
5?
it was kind of crazy. Like when I came back, it was a very long drive that Sunday, and then Monday was like a waste. I should have taken Monday off, and then Tuesday I got up and like I was talking to you about something or somebody, and I was just like, yeah, I just saw them 36 hours ago. It was really weird. Like I was like, I was just in Milwaukee. What happened? So yes, it was about 4 days ago. We were hanging out and doing our video game thing that we do.
Yeah, albeit brief. My appearance wasn't as long as Mattio's or other people you're hanging out with.
So
I really dropped the ball on us meeting at Galloping Ghost because I got fucked by Chicago traffic and getting out of work late. But
it happens. I think next year, like, first of all, I think everybody's going to want to go next year. So every person I've talked to is like, I'm going. Matt wants to go. Jay wants to go. Like, quite literally every person I want, that I've talked to is like, I got to go to this thing. So maybe next year we do the same thing and maybe plan on staying a little longer. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Get a big crew at Galloping Ghost. That'd be awesome.
We could take over. There were a couple of crews there, and I think that our crew could take those crews.
Can we get LJN windbreakers?
We
Oh
could.
my God.
I want us to all have LJN windbreakers or members only jackets.
What
I
about
don't
like
give
a
shit.
satin starter jacket?
Let's do it.
Like an old 80s
LJN starter jacket.
dugout jacket. Yeah.
Hell yes.
Finally, after 30 years, I can get 4 players to play NHL Open Ice at once.
Well,
involved.
Mattio picked up Saturn Bomberman for the U.S. Saturn.
Isn't that like 8 players or
12.
something?
And I said,
12.
He said, well, I need more controllers. I said, we know just the guy that has a bunch of Saturn controllers and probably a couple of taps. So we'll bring that next time. We'll play 12-man Bomberman in the fucking hotel room and live stream it or something. That'd be ridiculous.
That'd be hilarious.
We'd need twice as many friends as we have now. So we'll have to start there. We'll just start recruiting people downstairs. Hey, you want to come to my hotel room and play 12-man Bomberman? And they'll be like, I don't know what that means. Probably not.
We have candy and beer.
Yeah. It's a 12-guy thing that we all play together.
It's just going down.
Yeah, they're like, no, I don't. No, thank you, sir.
Just stop.
I was told I can't go from the venue to the hotel. I have restrictions on this ticket.
Yes, they should look like 90s Hornets windbreakers.
10 player says Caitlin.
10?
Yeah, 2-5 port. I thought it was 6. Why did I think they were 6 port?
I wonder if that Saturn Bomberman is the most multiplayer home game released ever. 12 sounds like a lot. I mean, obviously it's a lot, but I don't know if any other games have tried for more.
I would say for the era, I can't imagine that there's a game that would support more than 10 players without having more than one console. Like with a single console, that's got to be it, right?
Yeah,
Without dialing into some kind of service or anything else, I just can't. I can't envision anything else that would support that many. So. But yeah, I think we can wrangle up the controllers, and maybe we have to do that. That would be fucking stupid.
That would be funny. We got enough people that would do it probably.
Oh, we could absolutely get a couple more people. Your buddy Frank, maybe, or whoever would come up and just They're 6 port each, but only 10 player. Okay, so they are 6 ports, but they're 10 player total, is what he says. Caitlin says.
So next year it's going to be
Retro Gamer.
It's going to be, hey, what'd you do? I went to Milwaukee for the weekend to play fucking Bomberman.
we had a Saturn Bomberman tournament. I came in 3rd out of 10.
In a hotel.
Yeah, we go in there and just sit in the hotel and play Bomberman and live stream it and rank it. That'd be amazing. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there's other stuff to do. So tell me a little bit.
Going.
Yeah, no, good. This is all working out. I didn't want you to go anyway.
There we go.
Tell me how everything went for you. I mean, you can start with the deal we swung, or I can talk about that later. Up to you.
Sure. I'll talk about the deal you and I swung. I picked up a complete in box Turbo Express handheld TurboGrafx system in the wild like a summer ago with like 10 Hue cards, 2 of which were Soldier Blade and Bonk 3.
It was an amazing lot. I remember when you got it. Yeah, go ahead.
For the low price of $125, which is what the guy quoted me after he said he specifically looked some stuff up on eBay. I don't know where he got the number, but he was about $900 off.
Was he looking on eBay from like 2004?
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was on archive.org.
Yeah, it was like he must have looked up like two games or 3, like Power Golf and something else, and saw that they were like $10, and was like, okay, they're probably worth all that much.
Keith Courage, this was the pack-in. $2. World Class Baseball, $2. Well, they're all cheap. $100.
That was probably one of my biggest scores last year. in a long time. Because that shit doesn't happen anymore. That's like old school deal right there.
I remember when you posted that, and I remember just being so insanely jealous because one of the things that I have wanted since I was 16 years old was a Turbo Express in the box. I've only ever had one, and it was loose, and I got it a few years ago for my birthday when we were down in Orlando. I happened to walk into a game shop in like 2019. I think it was summer of 2019. I walked in, and they had a Turbo Express there. I was like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, yeah, it works. I'm like, I'll take it. He goes, you don't know how much it is. I'm like, I'm assuming it's like $300 because that's what they were going for. He's like, yeah, that's about right. I said, okay, sold. That, like, I'll take it. So yeah, that was so this is the only one I've ever seen in a box since my cousin got one when I was 16.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I've never seen that before that point, and I probably never see one again.
Yeah.
The guy just hit me up. I'm one of those scumbags on Craigslist who says, "Sell me a video games ad." And the dude hit me up out of nowhere. And
that's not a scumbag. That's tactical. I do that.
I've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years. I've gotten a lot of really cool stuff, but that's probably the best thing that ever came out of it. Usually it's just resellers hitting me up trying to sell like Xbox 360 sports games for like way too much. But this guy, yeah, he sold me that lot, and I was like, $125. This is insane. Brought it home. It works perfectly.
Yeah.
Like the screen's like slightly faint, but like usually those things are like kind of fucked and need to be recapped, or there's like a line out on the screen or something. So that was a shocking part to me, that it just worked fine. There wasn't any battery corrosion in the back battery area. So
yeah.
So all the hue cards worked, and they all had manuals. He's like, "Oh, I threw away the cases at one point." I was like, "Damn." So anyway.
Oh no! What a horrible deal this just became.
Right.
Soldier Blade sells for what, $200 loose?
It does, and that's a game I always wanted, but I gave up on it because it was too expensive, and now I have it.
Yep.
And now, since I got it, I haven't touched it once. Go figure.
But now you can play it.
Now, so
you could have anyway. Good.
Point of that stupid story is that's a pickup story, but I got that thing and I was excited, and then I just threw it on a shelf for about a year, and then I just randomly was like, you know what? I don't care about that. Just like the same time I got a Sega Nomad and I was excited about it for 2 weeks and then realized I don't care about it at all, because I'm just like, if it exists on console, I'm just going to play on the console.
Yep.
It's a cool collectible if you're a diehard Turbo fan like yourself, Mike, but I'm not. And it's just a kind of a curiosity novelty for me. So I was like,
sure.
I think I randomly texted you, not even knowing that you wanted, being like, I'm thinking about selling this thing off, bringing it to MGC and putting it on someone's table. Probably Milwaukee Retro Gamers table, because that's what I did anyway with something else.
Yep.
But
you mentioned
I was like, I'm probably going to sell it for $500, and you're like, I want it. I'll give you something for it. So
I even said, I was like, I'll give you $500 for it. I'm going to see you there. I'll just bring the money. Like, fine.
Yeah,
sold.
but
like,
I tried to make sure it was a trade, because I don't like doing the money thing with friends. So
no, same.
Let's
it was fine.
Let's trade something. And then you hit me up with a fully refurbished, recapped Turbo Duo system, and I was like, well, that's a niche trade if I ever heard one. Niche Turbo console in exchange for a niche Turbo console.
The U.S. Turbo, the U.S. Turbo Express for the U.S. Turbo Duo. It's a very common trade. You see it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. But yeah.
So we traded that. That was our big trade. I don't remember even what else was in there. I mean, you fixed my Sega
that
CD
is not the big trade. The real big trade. No.
What else is in there?
The real big trade was I gave you an OEM for a replica for a repro. Remember?
Yeah, you gave me the OEM Sega CD mounting plate screw. Because I fucking texted you one day being like, I bought a repro screw and it's bothering me, so you're going to have to give me that real one, please.
So Robbie sent me his Sega CD Model 1 to work on it. Needed a couple of things.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I got it all straightened out. I told him I'd bring it to him at Midwest Gaming Classic. So during the course of the conversation about the device, it comes up that there's a mounting screw, that there's a mounting plate that goes to the bottom of your Genesis, right? And that in turn connects to the Sega CD.
Makes almost like a slide lock.
Yeah,
type.
and it snaps in. It holds it in place. Now, there's also a screw that holds the actual mounting plate to the Genesis, right? Yeah. Robbie's didn't have that. And he was
we
like...
went over this.
We went over all. Yeah. So anyway, the moral of the story is he was like, it was annoying you that you had you ordered one from eBay and you're like, you have to give me one of those, because I had extras. He's like, you have to give me one of those OEM screws. And I'm like, deal. He's like, it looks great. It has like the patina on it or whatever we said. I forget. It's like,
patina on it.
Yeah. So yeah, repro screws it's getting crazy, John. It's getting crazy out here. Yeah.
It's got 20 years of like oxidation on the metal.
Yep.
It's nice.
Yeah,
as far as the screw goes, was there any difference between that one and the repro?
No. What?
Yes.
I think the shape of it was a little different, honestly.
It was slightly different in shape, very different in color, and 100% different in texture. They're not the same. It's just like holding an NES repro cart versus a real one. If you held the real one,
screw.
But if you held the real one in your hand, you'd know it was the real one.
It's just a screw.
But it's not though. It's the right screw.
It
Look,
is.
listen, here's the deal. It's just a screw to whoever winds up buying that other Model 1 from me. It's just a screw. But for me and Robbie, it's not. Sean says, are you a bad enough dude to play 10-man Bomberman? No. And then John says, I am not. No, I don't know if we are. We'll find out, I guess. We're going to see. All right, go ahead. So yeah, that was the real big deal we swung.
That was the deal. You gave me a bunch of bullshit discs that I mailed you a long time ago and forgot about to resurface for me.
That look like brand new.
Yeah, they do. It's wild.
And not only do they look like brand new, but man, you're getting some loot for those things. Some awful games.
Yep. So there's that. So thank you for that. You're basically my like trash compactor when I go get down garage
the
sales.
Resurfacing plug.
The resurfacing plug when I get down garage sales and intentionally pick up scratch bullshit.
Yep. So
that's about it for our deal. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else. I mean,
you got something. We got one of the best games ever for the Sega CD. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, yeah, in terms of my pickup. I was talking about our trade.
Oh, no, our trade, that's it.
So the pickup that I bought, so I showed up there and I was with my lady and I started looking at the floor and I was like getting irritated because every time I went to go look through a bin, some like sweaty nerd would rub up against me and start like looking through it. It's like the thrift store thing. You're at a thrift store, something you see, and then some guy like
wedges us in. Yeah, he wedges in and grabs at it.
Yeah, or people just start like doing the whole like rubbing on you on accident because they don't realize their own personal space and their boundaries. So I was getting irritated with that, and I couldn't find anything that was like on planet Earth in terms of pricing because shit was outrageous there for Nintendo stuff all around.
Yeah.
So I kind of just was asking people, like, have you seen a copy of Lord of Thunder for Sega CD? And someone said they saw one here and one there. So there were two on the floor. One was like, people wanted $400 for, I think. So I just kept walking.
It was ridiculous.
And then the other one in the corner was $350. I was getting sick of looking at the vendor floor. My lady was getting sick of me just walking around looking at junk. And we just wanted to go do something else. So I just offered all the money in my wallet to this vendor who had a Lords of Thunder for $350 in his glass case, and all the money in my wallet was $287.
That's a good price for Lords of Thunder. Have you seen what it goes for recently? It's more than that.
Yeah, it is, and I'm surprised the guy went for my deal because like I offered $287 in cash, and he was like, "I was like, this is all I got, dude. I'm not pulling your leg, but I mean, if you don't want to take my $287, we're good. I can walk. It's not a big deal." I wasn't that thirsty, and he was like, well, we take card. And I was like, yeah, but here's money.
But I have to give it to you, and I'm not gonna. So anyway.
Yeah, I kind of was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then he eventually just was looking on his phone for a while. And then he just said, sure. Okay, well, one and done.
Well, I know that one's been bugging you for a while. I'm glad you finally got it.
That's kind of why I just want to get over. That's why you go to those things, just to get it over with. Like the one thing you've been looking for that's been annoying you forever. You just had pulled the trigger on it. And I felt good about it. No shame at all. And I was like, cool. Now I'm just going to go hang out and do other fun stuff.
Yeah. Which that segues us into going up to the arcade floor, right?
Oh, before we do that, as soon as I bought that Lords of Thunder, I was standing on the fucking floor with people walking all around me. And I was holding it up in front of me to take a picture of it just to post on my Instagram account. Like, just pick this game up, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And some dude walks up to me and he goes, hey man, are you Metal Jesus Rocks? And I just busted out laughing because I thought he was joking at first. I just started like guffawing, and then I kind of realized he was serious. And I went, oh no, man, no, that's not me. And he's like, wow, you really look like him. I was like, no, I don't. I do not.
Did you punch this dude in the throat?
No, but
I would have.
I just couldn't. I was like, you just saw a dude with long hair, and that's as far as your brain went. Because I mean, you must be extremely sheltered. You don't see anybody with long hair ever. I don't know, but like,
what did I say? You should have like said yeah, and then like thrown a pile of Lost Joystick Network stickers in his face. Yeah, that's me. Bam, and then just walked off.
I should have said yeah and signed something of his, like Metal Jesus rocks.
And then before you left, just look at him right dead in the eyes and go, by the way, I suck. Anyway, very good. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I also got a picture with Pat Country holding up a Bad Dudes manual.
I saw that. You guys were doing the Bad Dudes pose.
Yeah, specifically to send that picture to my buddy Nick that I grew up with, who was always saying bad. He started the whole Bad Dudes thing, really, like trolling me and saying it's my favorite game, and now it's a phenomenon. So
it should be your favorite game.
And aside from that, I paid $40 to take a picture of the guy who played Kano in the original Mortal Kombat.
It was a great picture though. They had the backdrop there, and he was like in full regalia. So like, Robbie, what did he brought something with him, right?
He brought a little fake heart, but like because his fatality is to rip the heart out.
Yeah.
So he had a little fake like prosthetic heart, and we took turns holding it for multiple photos.
John says maybe Robbie's stunt double also doubles Metal Jesus. Yeah, we had that conversation actually a little bit.
Maybe that's why the guy mistook me as him.
He's like, holy crap, it's probably that guy. It's that guy from Rarity.
Yeah, aren't you that Metal Jesus guy that wears the denim jacket?
You like the band Ghost.
So you guys went up to the arcade section.
Yeah,
we need to hear about this, Robbie.
I'm yammering on about my day, basically. But, I took a picture of Kano when I walked in, bought a game, bounced up to the arcade area after I found Matteo and Mike. And as we were walking around the arcade floor, which was way smaller than it usually is every year because Galloping Ghost didn't have a presence this year, some dude with like a video camera who was clearly filming some kind of YouTube video was just like hollering. He's like, hey, anyone who could beat my boy in Street Fighter 2, I'll give you $20. $20. And I was like, you just shouted that out to the wrong dude, man. I'm just going to fucking step.
It was so
to it
funny.
Immediately.
You kind of like side-eyed me like, is this motherfucker serious? And I was like, go. Like, yeah, we got a guy right here that might be able to help you out.
You guys both.
The funny thing was, as soon as you guys were all like, yeah, he's the one, point at me, you could see the dude's friend who's forcing to do this, who's kind of like, oh man.
He starts to hedge. Because the guy's like, it's his favorite game ever. And then like he starts to hedge like, this, what did he said something, is this like a regulation cabinet or something? And I was like, what, is this what? Like it was, he started to hedge right away. So I looked it up, and the guy, they're on YouTube. It's Video Game Chase Crew, and they do this stuff out of Chicago, right?
That's the real original name.
Yeah. Well, then he had the shirt on. I couldn't remember, and it's funny because I wound up finding them. There was a picture thread of like people who took pictures at Midwest Gaming Classic, and as I was going through it, I was like, those are the guys, and they were with Metal Jesus.
Full circle.
Yep, it all came full circle. But anyway,
so if that dude who mistook me as Metal Jesus ends up watching their video, he's going to be like, wow, Metal Jesus is really good at Street Fighter 2.
I lost to Metal Jesus. Wow, that's something. That's sad.
God, this is so meta and weird. Anyway,
I guess we should. How's that going over there, Jay?
I was trying to pull up these Video Game Chase.
Yeah, there's nothing on there about it yet, so don't worry about it.
Oh well.
So I inevitably beat the guy. It wasn't hard.
Oh, you hammered him. He was. You were E Honda.
He chose Ryu and then did all the predictable stuff, and I just chose E Honda because a dude I go to whenever I'm feel like I need to actually win something and just be a cheap ass.
Well, and then when like you would get him cornered, and I'm like, well, that's the end of him. Like, no coming out of that, buddy. There's no escaping the corner with E Honda.
Yeah, you just slap the shit out of him with the the hyper slap thing, and then you slap the shit out of him while you're buffering, holding back for 2 seconds, and then as soon as you are done doing the slap move, you fucking
you charge,
flying headbutt.
Yep.
Rinse, repeat, etc. Just spam shit. Anyway, I beat the dude, and the guy gave me $20 cash, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I was gonna go walk back to the floor and buy a game with it, but then I never did.
Paid you on the spot? Yeah, no. John says I know the Chasers guy It's not the same guys. This is different people with a very similar name, John. So, but yeah.
Oh, it's not the Game Chasers.
No, it's not them. So, cool. And then that was pretty much it, man. Right? I went up to the room and chilled for a bit, and then came back down to see before we left, and that was kind of the crux of your visit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really spend a long time in those things ever. I kind of just hang out until I usually go with my girlfriend every year for the past like 4 or 5 years, and we're just kind of like, we're good here. Then we just go home because it's not like a big commitment for us because we're only an hour and a half away. You
hit it and quit it.
Yeah, sure.
Valdor,
like that.
Valdor says, I feel like you owe the Lords of Thunder guy that $20 you got. I mean, look, there was a deal. There was an agreed upon price, and he paid it. He doesn't owe him anything.
Yeah, but you know what? It is Lords of Thunder.
Well,
so
if I actually won that little Street Fighter thing before I went and bought that game, and I opened my wallet and said, here's all the money in my wallet, it would have included that extra 20, but that's not how the day went down in terms of scheduling. So
no, it is not.
No.
I feel like with Lords of Thunder, though, that would have been acceptable.
Oh, absolutely.
To be fair, the back art on the Lords of Thunder has a waviness that's plagued.
It doesn't matter. But it's still Lords of Thunder.
Hold on. But I know a guy that can help you with that now.
Oh, yeah. You're a Mr. Art Presser.
I'm Mr. Fix It. I'm Mr. Fix It.
Are we, should we pronounce the LJN game resurfacing and prettying up
all of your
company,
all your non-restorative repair by Lost Joystick Network.
I think that was it in terms of your and I interactions before I just bounced and went back to Chicago. Just, I had a good time. Oh, I did buy RBI Baseball for NES, complete in box. So that's another thing I picked up.
Amazing.
Yep. Yeah, banger.
Totes banger. All right, man. Well, awesome.
That's it.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll drop you from here, and then I'll try to give you a ring when it's ratings time.
Yeah, I that sounds fine. I probably will end up sticking around. I don't know. We'll see. Just see what's up. But
if you answer, you answer.
If I answer, I answer. I should probably, for my own integrity's sake, not answer because I don't know a single thing about Gex.
That's okay.
But,
dude, you got about a half hour. You can pop it in.
Go watch a video
in the meantime.
Go watch a video. All right.
Later.
Bye. Hey, it's Supremacy Robbie Coleman, everybody. I like that the call dropped out because it never hung up. That was perfect.
Boop, boop, boop.
John says, I sent some discs. Where I sent some games. Where are my discs, Mike? They're right under the table I'm looking right at. They haven't moved since I got them. But they're here. I have them.
I did take Super Nintendo games home and clean
those
them
are
up.
long
Those
gone.
are looking nice.
Those are long gone. Hey, I was watching the Heritage Auctions. I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I think it was an 8.0 B or 7.5 B Vegas Stakes sold on there. Guess how much it sold for? WATA graded Vegas Stakes. Probably like a 7.5 to 8 like B.
$30.
$46.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
$46, everybody. All right.
So I got one sealed. I'm sending it to WATA.
Yeah, well, you might not ever see it again if you do. So, all right. Cool. That's all I needed to know. Good. They're here.
They've gone nowhere, but they're here.
I guess I should get into my week or weeks.
Yeah.
So I noticed that I had overlooked one thing last time we did this, and I actually added a couple things to the collection that I forgot to mention last time.
Did you get those? I think these, right?
This one. The one thing right here, really.
Did you get that before? I thought you got it after the episode.
No, I got it before, but forgot.
Oh.
Anyway, we should probably tell people what we're talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got a really nice copy of Metroid on the NES from Marketplace.
Oh.
And I bought something else from Goonies. It was a nice boxed Goonies, but it wasn't as nice as the Metroid.
It was the same person, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice lady who had moved here from Arizona, and she had a bunch of stuff. She said she used to work at a pawn shop. She had a copy of Cowboy Kid with a repro box, but the cart was real. And that's like $600 now, something like that. I don't even know. But anyway, so yeah, I picked that up a few weeks ago. That was about a week and a half before I went to Midwest Gaming Classic. So, and then
I'm here for the suspense.
Yeah, I'm here for the suspense. Okay.
Sorry, let the cat out of the bag already. It was the Metroid.
Yeah, it was Metroid. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, man. Build it up and then we just blow it out of the water.
We could talk about how nice it is.
So I'm definitely gonna have to put a marker in this episode for when we talk about Gex, because I'm probably gonna talk for the next 20 minutes about what's been going on in the last week. Okay. Right?
Should I go get some more pizza?
You can go get whatever you want, but I'm gonna talk for a minute. So what? Yeah, that's fine with me. I mean, you don't need my permission to eat pizza. I bought a number of things. We went to Midwest Gaming Classic.
You
but
did.
It was
got some cool stuff.
It was much more than that. So it started basically Thursday night. Harrison and I got in the car after he got out of work and drove down to Northern Kentucky, and we stayed in a hotel down there. And then so we could get up first thing in the morning on Friday, take Connor, he took the day off school.
Yeah.
And then we would go to Chicago. We were going to go to Galloping Ghost, where we would hopefully see Robbie, but obviously, spoiler alert, if you've heard, we did not. And
it's all Robbie's fault.
Well, mostly, yes.
It's all his fault.
No, and then from there, we went to Galloping Ghost, and we were there from probably noon Central Time until about 6. So we stayed about 6 hours, and I waited for traffic to die down a little bit because we were going to go north out of town, and we were going around like, what is it, 295, or I forget, 495, whatever.
The Loop or whatever they call it.
Well, no, up and around the city. The Loop is down in the southeast part of the town there, but I'm up already kind of outside of the city, and now I'm going around it, but you're still dealing with Chicago traffic on a Friday night.
You are literally everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So we stayed there till 6, and we had a ball, man. Galloping Ghost was amazing. It's $20 for the day. If you add like another $10, you can go down the block to another location they have that's all pinball stuff. And when I say they had like quite literally everything, I mean like it was insane. Like they had video game arcade cabinets I had never even heard or seen. Like we talked about that Time Traveler hologram game. They have that. They have both of the Sega hologram games.
I noticed that when you said, because you sent me some pictures while you were there.
They had, Dragon's Lair 2, Space Ace, all the Laserdisc stuff. They had what was it? 11 6-slot MVS Big Red Neo Geo cabinets, all loaded. Like 2 of them were all the King of Fighters. There was all the Fatal Furies in another one. It was just, there was a Beavis and Butthead upright. There's a Bonk's Adventures upright. Karnov and Rygar right next to each other. There was a Resident Evil Code Veronica like shooter game that like it was Japanese, right? That they had brought over, and it had like these horrible tank controls that you used the actual gun to control how you moved. Oh, so bad. They had a Silent Hill one that was like a rear projection shooter, but it wasn't working. It had like a big drape with like spooky drapes and stuff. And let's see. Oh, the Beavis and Butthead is exclusive to Galloping Ghost. That's amazing because that thing was really cool. I was like, the game is not exactly a lot of fun, but I had never seen that before in my life. They had R-Type and R-Type 2. Cool cabinets. And then like we saw it upstairs at the arcade at Midwest Gaming Classic. Robbie and I did. And he was just like, I really like that. I really like that cabinet. And now he wants one. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, he says that the Beavis and Butthead, they're the first ones to get it up running. It was a prototype. I had no idea, but yeah, it's actually quite cool. So, but we spent a lot of time there. I beat Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 about 4 times. And like Connor and Harrison ran around and did their thing for, like I said, like 6 hours. And you had re-entry. So we went right down the street and got like food and stuff from the pizza place right down the corner. And we spent about 6 hours there. And then we got in the car, went up to Milwaukee, got checked into the hotel. It was the way it was arranged for Midwest Gaming Classic. If you ever go, okay, I cannot recommend enough to stay in the hotel, the Hilton City Center there in Milwaukee that's connected to the actual Wisconsin Center by the Skywalk. It was amazing. You would literally leave your room, and in like less than 5 minutes, you would never have to even go outside. You go down an elevator through the Skywalk, and you're basically at the venue. It was so simple. And like Robbie's like, oh man, it's going to suck on Saturday. It's going to rain, blah, blah. I was like, I don't give a shit. I wore a t-shirt and shorts all day because I never had to go outside. It stormed hard that night. And I was like, whatever, not my problem. Like it was just an amazing experience. Like we wound up getting 2 rooms. I offered space to other people, but they couldn't make it. And it was just the rooms were beautiful. Like I actually got like this really nice room that had like shelves and a sitting area with a second TV. It was huge. So we would just like, I should probably proceed with the story, but we get there, we get checked into the room, and then I messaged Milwaukee Retro Gamer, Kalen, who I think he was on earlier. I'm not sure if he's still on, but And I said, hey, I'm here. So I went down and kind of chatted with him, and we talked about, like, hey, I'll see you in the morning. And the vendor area opened at 9, and I didn't really do much else. It had already been a very long day. Like we had left at 9:30 at night the night prior, Eastern time, got to the hotel at like 2, slept until 7:30, picked up Connor at 8:30, and then drove up to Galloping Ghost and spent a day at an arcade, So, and then we still had to drive to Wisconsin, go somewhere I didn't know, at all. And then we got checked in. So we just kind of went and said hello. And yeah, the Hummingbird Suite, that's right. The other one was the Ambassador Suite, but the Hummingbird Suite was nicer, I thought. The Ambassador Suite sounds nicer, but the Hummingbird Suite was where it was at.
Can I ask a question? It's
sure.
a terrible question.
No,
and
please.
I just have to do it.
Yeah.
Isn't Milwaukee Algonquin for something?
I think it's Algonquin for the good land. Is that right?
I just had to. I'm sorry.
No, it's Milwaukee. I've never heard that before in my life. And I'm sure that, Kaylin or Matteo never have either.
No, never.
I think that's right. But anyway, so we get up in the morning, the vendor hall opens at 9. I'm like, oh, I'm not that worried about getting down there. Well, I should say this. We had the VIG tickets. So we bought tickets for all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And essentially these tickets gave you early access to the vendor hall. They gave you a bunch of things. Like one of the things I got was this Midwest Gaming Classic arcade pack. So if anybody's watching right now, it's like an NES Repro type game. It's a blue game in there, and there's a number of games on it. So, this was only available at Midwest Gaming Classic.
What color was it? I'm not right now.
Well, I thought to myself, you're ruining my joke. You're ruining my joke. Why do you do this? We need to talk. We need to talk more often up front about these things. Because I was going to say, when I got it, I opened it up and I looked at it and I thought, well, what color is the cart? And it was blue. And I thought, oh, shit. Mom! Come to find out, they're all blue.
That never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
Never.
In fact, I think Kalen said it's his favorite as well.
I love it.
So, but we got one of these with each admission, right? So Connor and Harrison didn't give a crap. They're like, what am I gonna do with that? So
Did they not realize they could have got a blue cart? Possibly.
They did get a blue. They all got. I just said they were all blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just a heads up, they're all blue. Oh. So I wound up giving one to Kalen, who was nice enough to give Connor something in return from his booth that he wanted. And then I have one. The other one is still with me. I'm going to send it to Matteo. It's for him. So, but yeah. So the vendor hall was open to us at 9. Everybody else that prepaid that didn't get like the VIG package but prepaid got in at 9:30, and then the whole thing opened at 10. And man, I'll tell you what. I was like, nah, I won't get down there early. We were down there at 8:58. And there was a line of probably 50 people ready to go in, but you walk right in. Like all you have to do is you have your name tag around your neck, right? It's like a lanyard type thing. And all they're looking for is like the yellow lanyard. So everybody walked right in. So I just kind of walked in and started looking around, and I really should have capitalized on that time more, because holy shit, did that place get fucking busy. I was like, whoa, hello. What was that? Somebody just did something. Anyway, Asa Burke liked our stream. Hey, Asa.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
So that place got busy as hell. Like, it was nuts. I'm so glad, again, that I stayed at the hotel I did, because Matteo came out. He shows up at like 11 something, right?
Yeah.
And I was already kind of over talking to Kalen, hanging out at his table, and I met his friend Aaron and then NES Matt, who was next to him. And I think I had met Matt before. I think I met both of them before, actually, but we kind of got to know each other a little bit better. And Matty was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to get through. There's like this huge line to get in. So he tells me this story. He's basically standing in line, and everybody's favorite guy, MJR.
You mean Robbie?
Yeah, Robbie's stunt double is walking by.
Double.
He's walking by, and all these people start high-fiving him, and they're like, yeah, hey, all right, high five. And he goes to high five Matteo, and Matteo just goes, nah. He stalled him out on the high five. And apparently Metal Jesus was just
my hero.
Confounded. Like, he did not know how to react to that. So, but anyway, so Matteo shows up, and what I was getting to was, after a couple of hours of walking around that place, it's a lot, man. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of things going on. And I was like, I'm going to go to the room. Like I just walked up to the room. Matteo came with me. We were both just like oversensitized.
Did you guys take a nap?
Yeah.
Spooned?
We forked.
Touche,
Your
touche.
eyes just went like, what? What's that? No, we literally just kind of hung out and talked and like chilled out. Like it was like, we just had to like come back down. Like it was just too much. And then we went back down there and, Matteo had met up with his buddy Green Shell, who was from Chicago, who had gotten a big Saturn lot and picked up the U.S. copy of Sega Saturn Bomberman, and he wound up giving me his Japanese copy and for nothing.
What a good guy.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's good people.
He does okay. So, and then I ran around. I brought money. I brought just in case money. Didn't see what I was. I knew I wouldn't see, but was hoping that someday I will see. But
what was that?
Nothing. So the cart with which will not be named.
Yeah.
But anyway, so went around, did some shopping that day. Went up to the room. Matteo came up. Kalen came up after the show was over. He had to be down there till 8 because that was when the vendor booth stuff ended. That level of fame high five psych out is devastating, says Sean. Yes.
Is it because Matteo was that cool or because
it's both? It's both.
Copper Jesus thinks he's that cool.
Yeah. Plasticine Jesus.
I think Matteo's a bigger deal than he is.
Yeah, you got to watch out for Green Shell. He'll come up behind you, says John. So,
well, it sounds like Matteo's doing some forking too. So
yeah, who knows what's going on in the Hummingbird Suite? You never know what's going to happen. Right. So
what happens in the Hummingbird Suite stays in the Hummingbird Suite.
So they have this like after party after the first night, right? Like I didn't even know where it was. I think it was right downstairs, and we had access to it, and we had you got like free drink tickets, which of course Harrison and Connor couldn't use. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to go down to that, and
so
then
you're two-fisting it.
Yeah, that's right. No, but so I was like, well, we'll go down to it. So I was talking to Kaylin and Matteo because they were going to come up at least hang out for a minute. And by the time we got up to the room and got settled, I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to stay here. And it was a torrential downpour. Oh. It was a huge storm. In fact, I was just watching, I think, Riggs' video. John Riggs was there, and he did a video of it, and I was watching it today. And they went outside during that gigantic torrential downpour, and there was like the street was like a river. It was bad.
Wow.
So we just chilled out. Yeah, come on up. We got nectar. Yeah. So we just went up and hung out, bought some beers down at the bar downstairs, like you could buy bottles of beer, and I just brought them up to the room. We just hung out and had some beers and chatted, and it was cool, man. It was like just relaxed, and it had been such a long couple of days. I was like, I need to just relax and not do anything. So did that, and then
it's a hard life playing video games and shopping for video games.
It was tough. I'm not gonna lie. It's very taxing.
That's okay.
It's mentally taxing.
But it is.
It's not. It was all right.
Was it taxing on playthrough 2 of Mortal Kombat or 1?
What?
You said you beat it twice at Galloping Ghost.
Oh, I'm back a few times. A few times.
Yeah.
But Matteo wound up going home. Kaylin went home. I'd offered that they wanted to stay, they could, but they don't live very far from there, so they both wound up going to the house. And I just kind of crashed out, right? Like we ordered food to the room or whatever. And I just I had brought food for Kalen, like, cause you can't really have food on the vendor floor. So I smuggled in a cheesesteak for him.
Nice.
And then, I offered to give him some refuge. Like it's like a 10-hour day. You're standing on your feet. Plus you got to set up and close down and all that. So I wound up helping out, at his booth for a little while, not very long, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. And just kind of stood there and sold the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 manual or something. I don't remember what it was, but I just kind of stood there and kind of held down the fort while he took a break for that too. And so that was cool. And then, like I said, we got up Sunday, went downstairs, we got all packed up, went downstairs, went back to the vendor floor, which opened, I think, at 10 again, maybe something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we had planned to leave right away. Like, I've got to take Connor back home and then go back home myself.
You're going back to Kentucky.
Yeah.
From Milwaukee.
It was a whole thing. But how
many states did you go through?
Yeah, I'll get to all that. So, but we wound up staying there till 11:30ish, and I would run around. There were a couple of people there that I knew from other shows. Like I met a guy at VGS Video Game Summit last year. His name is Sam. He lives in Milwaukee. Good guy, tall guy, big Bucks fan. Him and Matteo know each other as well, and just a good dude. And he and I have just kind of you know, every time I see him, we talk, and you know, he'll bump into me and talk to me at the show, and vice versa. And went over to his booth and chatted with him. Got to know his sister a little bit, and he was telling me what shows he's going to do, and something's going on outside. Maybe it's the big
what is that?
the big Trace Atkins show, maybe down the street.
We shouldn't be able to hear that from here.
No, we shouldn't, but whatever. Something's going on, but who cares? Yeah, Sam rules. He sold me my porno NES games. Yes, that's true. He sold Robbie his two
Bubble Bath
Panesians.
Babes.
Yeah, Bubble Bath Babes, and not Hot Slots, the other one. So, but yeah, good. Just a really good guy, and I got to talk with him quite a bit, and then like I said, just talked about where he'd be, and we've just been chatting through Facebook and all that kind of stuff since then. And Hot Slots, yeah, that's the other one. But and then we just hit the road. Like we packed up, and I had to go from Milwaukee, like from Wisconsin to Illinois to Indiana to Kentucky to drop Connor, and then up through Ohio back to Michigan to get home. We got home at like midnight, 12:30. You know, so
pretty good time then, all things considered.
You know, it was like a 12-hour round trip type thing, I guess, total. You know, and that you also lost an hour because it's Central to Eastern and all that good stuff. So John was there when I gripped the Hot Slots VGS 2018. Man, back in the day, back in the olden times when people would sell those things. Well, I take that back. There was a copy of Bubble Bath Babes complete with the rental case, and like,
how much was that?
$6,000.
Yeah, no.
It was at Forever Games, which is John from Rock'em Sock'em is friends with the owner of Forever. They're in Columbus, and he said Harrison's like, I'm gonna go ask him how much it is, because we were leaving. That was like Saturday night, and I said, yeah, go ask. So he goes over and asks the guy. He's like, hey, I think Patrick was the guy's name at Forever. He was a nice guy, and he goes, how much is that Bubble Bath Babes? And the guy Patrick's like, are you serious? Like, here's 19-year-old Harrison trying to buy like a, you know, ultra rare porno NES game. And he's like, yeah. He's like, $6,000. Okay, see you later. So
You should have went and asked. Maybe it would have been cheaper. Maybe he said that much because it was Harrison. He's
maybe he thought he could get away with it because they thought maybe Harrison was like a YouTube star or something.
He might have.
YouTube. That's the one, not YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
Same thing.
YouTube, either way.
But that kind of like...
Oh, by the way, Valdor gave me a call out for the Wayne's World joke.
Oh, yeah. No, it was good.
I had to say something just because that was...
Well, of course.
I appreciate him catching that one.
No, of course.
YouPorn?
That's YouPorn. That's a site. That is a site. I mean, I don't know. Is it? I've heard of YouTube and the other thing, but yeah, my son just texted me, hey, Dad, I'm watching your podcast. Hey, buddy, love you. So, yeah.
What's up, Connor?
Yeah. If he's watching and he wants to call to be on the show, by all means, bud, give me a call and we'll get you on, okay? So anyway, but I just saw his message. So I guess I should get to what I bought and what I didn't buy, because there was a lot of both. It was a lot. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't that bad. So I'm pulling up my picture because it's the best way to reference this stuff.
That's fine.
So the first thing, the two coolest things I got were, to Jay's right, stage left here, is a Capcom sign that was created by our good friend Milwaukee Retro Gamer Kalen, who I've referenced a number of times. It is absolutely gorgeous. We got to figure out where we're going to put it. That's its temporary home, but man, it is awesome. I can hear the Capcom sound in my head every time I look over at it. Like, I just look over and I hear it. Like, I can hear Street Fighter starting. Dun, 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 dun. Like, I can just hear it.
So the combination of that and Robbie kicking that dude's ass with the Honda, probably.
Yeah, it was a good Street Fighter weekend, all in all, really. So I got that, which was awesome. I picked that up from him. Got the Turbo Express, which Robbie talked about, but man, that was like, I didn't really hit me till I got home. I was like, holy crap. I've wanted one of these for like 30 years. Like, I have one, but I've never had like the box and all the stuff that goes with it. And it was just like this overwhelming thing where you're just like, sometimes in life you get exactly what you want and it's exactly what you wanted it to be. And it doesn't happen that often. And I was just like, this is awesome. And it does work great. And it's a nice shape. And it's just super cool. So I was super in love with that. And
I have a question with that, just because you did end up playing it, because I was over the other night and I played it for a few while you were playing Gex. And you ended up playing it after I left, because I, of course, went to the PC Engine games and you found Splatterhouse on the Turbo section on the EverDrive.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm a dummy and I went to the PC Engine and I was like, there's no Splatterhouse on here.
Yeah, Robbie says good, because I didn't give a fuck about it. Well, good. I'm glad. Worked out.
Question I have, because we're not ancient, but we're older gentlemen at this point in life. And, I was playing it. I was struggling, man. I was like, this shit, I can't see it. Because it is a small screen.
It's a very small screen.
How'd that work out for you that night? Were you okay with it?
I was watching YouPorn on my phone. I didn't even play with it.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I'm just kidding. No. All the best games have you pumping gas. That's so true. Like Ghostbusters. I played it a little bit. He gave me an AC adapter to play it, which I was like in the hotel room thinking, I wish I had some batteries because it takes like 6 AA's. And like a moron, I did not realize that he had also given me an AC adapter. I could have plugged it in and played one of the 10 turbo games that I bought at the damn show. But so here's the deal. Yeah, I didn't even play with it. I'm sure. It looks like it. So the old screens.
Connor Pitts.
Connor's calling.
All right, guess we're gonna hold on Turbo.
All right, let's talk to him. Got my little. Hey, buddy, hold on 1 second. Hey.
Hey, I can see your podcast.
Yeah, how's it going? You there?
I'm here.
So what are you up to, man? We were just talking about Midwest Gaming Classic. What did you think about it?
I think it was really fun.
Yeah? What was your favorite part?
Oh, I'm not sure. My favorite part was finding all those stuff I like.
Yeah? You want to talk a little bit about what you picked up?
Sure.
Tell me some of the stuff you bought.
I found several cool games like Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
Try that one
And-
again.
Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
That's a tough one to say.
Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Yep. I can't hear you very well, bud. You got to talk into the phone here. You got to turn your thing down there. You there? Okay.
Yeah, so I got lots of games.
Can't hear you very well, bud. You're gonna have to talk into the phone, man. Connor?
I'm here.
Okay, we couldn't hear you at all. All right. Hey, bud. I'm losing you here, buddy.
I know you can. I can see you on my iPad.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, bud. I'll give you a call tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Oh, there you are. All right.
All right, I'll let you guys keep doing your podcast. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Don't be sorry. We just couldn't hear you.
All right, I love you.
You want to keep talking? I can hear you now. Stay where you're at.
No, I don't know if I feel like it now because I have to get to bed.
Nope. Okay. Well, I love you, buddy.
Night.
Good night, bud. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye. Connor Pitts, everybody. That's my son. So, where was I?
Turbo.
Yeah. So that didn't really help. Oh, yeah. I was going to play it. So I played it that night after you left.
Yeah.
Right ahead to ever drive up and I had it plugged in and I was playing it. It's fine, but it is hard to see. So ultimately what I'm going to do, not with that one's in too nice a shape. That one I'm going to pull apart, look at the caps, make sure everything's in whatever. Yeah. But the one I actually got for my birthday like 3 years ago, it's nice too, but it's a little bit more used than that one and it didn't come in that box. So I'm actually going to send it to a friend and they're going to install the LCD DRV screen, like the 3.5 inch screen. And then like, it's basically like an RGB type style screen for it. So bigger screen, faster refresh rate, looks better, all that stuff. So I'll be able to actually use it. So I'm excited about that because it is hard. Like I played Devil's Crush on it and I played Splatterhouse, but it's like, it's such a slow refresh rate. The screens are so old, right? It's just, they're not great. So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. And that's the plan. So, but yeah, I was super happy to get that. Like, that's just something I've wanted for a long, long time. And it was just kind of an overwhelming thing to wind up getting. And I talked about Japanese Bomberman, which I got from
Matteo.
From Matteo. I went and saw our buddy Pedro at Retro Dimension. So Pedro used to just kind of be a collector reseller in the Chicago area. Then he opened a physical store. And the guy always has like really nice stuff. And it's always super clean. Like he buys collections. The guy does everything right. His prices are a little high, but at a show like that, they weren't.
Yeah.
And they were actually pretty reasonable. And honestly, like he and I have done a number of deals together. So he wound up cutting me a break on some stuff. But I wound up getting Samurai Showdown and Road Rash for the 3DO. And the Road Rash was the copy that comes with the soundtrack CD, which is the one I had when I was a kid and I wanted. And then I got Truxton from him as well. all at one time. I wanted Truxton. Remember we talked about it. That was one of the games I wanted to get. And then I wound up going back to see him later, and I did not realize he had NBA Jam TE for the Jaguar. So I bought that as well because there are like 5 games on the Jaguar you'd actually want to play, and that's one of them. And I didn't have that one. So
and all those boxes for being cardboard were really nice. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You got those from that.
From Pedro.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he had a whole wall of 3DO games that have been sitting there for quite some time. I guess, Robbie's friend Frank said that there's some of them sitting there, and he's like, wouldn't budge on the price, and they wanted them, whatever it was, but they've been there for a while. So let's see, what else did I get? I got Dragon, the Bruce Lee story for Jaguar as well. There was an older gentleman there that used to collect, and he was selling off a chunk of his collection, and he had some just beautiful stuff. It looked like he'd opened it and never played it, basically, is what it looked like. So he was super nice, and I wanted buying that from him for like $40. I got Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the Super Famicom complete in box, just because you never see them and they're cool boxes, and I figured, I could use them for like pictures when we do stuff or whatever. I just like that. And then I got some stuff from Kalen. I got the best game I got all weekend, David Robinson's Supreme Court for the Sega Genesis. I got that and the original Streets of Rage and John Madden Football. For the first 2 were for Genesis, and then John Madden was for 3DO. Was the long box for that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I bought something else from him too. Oh, the sign. I know the sign, but something else I can't remember. He'll probably remember. And then I bought a whole bunch of Turbo games. Hold on, Connor's texting me. Hold on. You can come on anytime.
So you got a boatload of.
Yeah, so I got a whole, I got, let's see, I think it's 3, 6, 9, 11, something like that. So I'll go over them real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of like quick here. Please tell me it's better than the SNES version. With the NBA Jam TE, I don't know yet. I haven't played it yet, but it might be.
Oh
yeah, I bought all the Tengen games. That's right. I haven't talked about it. That's right, because it's over here on a stack and I hadn't looked at it. So there are a couple other things. I bought a copy of Castlevania 3 from Sam, which it was really nice. My copy was
because yours is. Ugh.
Yep. So I mine was not great, so I bought it. He gave me a nice price, and I'm going to take the other one and just sell it. I bought Stack Up from a vendor at the end of the aisle. Nice guy. He was an interesting fellow, but he was obviously overwhelmed, I think. He was just him, and there were a lot of people kind of coming at him, and he was not totally set up. So I bought a loose copy of Stack Up for the Instagram
the photo
backdrop
display, yeah,
because I don't want to be moving one piece back and forth and all that. And then I bought basically all the parts. I had gotten a loose Rob from Kyle like 3 weeks ago.
Guy.
Same guy. I wound up buying all the parts for Rob. He just had a box.
Well, didn't he say, or is there something you're looking for?
Well, he said what happened was I said I was going to get Stack Up, but he goes, do you want like the discs that you need for Stack Up? And I said, honestly, I want Stack Up complete, but I need parts for the Rob. And he just pulls out this box full of like all the parts. So I picked out the controller holder, the gyros, the gyro holder, and the spinner and all that stuff, and bought all that from him as well. There was an interesting exchange at that booth where I had come by and this guy had a Turbo CD complete in box. Huge box. You never see it. And a Turbo Graphics complete in box too. And the guy was like, I'm trying to get $2,000 for it, or best offer. And the dude was obviously overwhelmed, but interested. And I was like, we went up to the room and I'm like, man, if I went down there and offered him $1,500 for that Turbo CD, I wonder if he'd take it. You know what I mean? And then I came back down, the dude was gone. The vendor was still there. So I talked to him a little bit later and he's like, oh yeah, he sold it for $1,600 to the guy. And he pointed over to a different booth. It was like the dice booth. They were selling a bunch of dice. He goes, they bought it because they bought a bunch of his like CRT TVs too. But he wanted it. The guy you could tell he was annoyed because he wanted it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I kind of wanted it too. Did you actually get Stack Up blocks too? I did not. I did not get Stack Up blocks. I'm trying to buy a complete in box Stack Up. I do not want pieces. So I'm trying not to. But one of the things I also got, to Kalen's point, was I was trying to get every Tengen NES game. I had 6. I think there's 18 and I got 10 of them or something. It was something like that. I'm too short.
Yes.
I did not get Afterburner and I did not get RBI Baseball 3.
Start calling you Short Dog.
That's right. Shorty the Pimp. But I saw Afterburner, just never bought it because in my head I had already bought it from Kalen when I didn't. And then RBI Baseball 3, I never saw. Yeah. You can look at my Stack Up CIB. Well, it sounds like something that you don't really care about and that you should trade it to somebody who does. See me. Anyway, but no, at some point I'll get a CIB Stack Up. So, and then let's see, the turbo games. I'll go through those in kind of rapid fire. So these are all complete in case, no boxes or anything like that, but the manuals and discs and all that stuff. So I got JJ and Jeff, which I didn't have. That's Kato-chan and Ken-chan. Kato-chan and Ken-chan. The game in Japan where you fart and pee.
Yes.
But in this one, it's called JJ and Jeff, and you do not do that. But somehow I had the PC Engine version, but not the US version. I got a copy of Military Madness, which was also a condition upgrade because mine has a bunch of writing in the manual, and that was one I had back when I was a kid, and I really wanted. So let's see. I got Bloody Wolf, which was also an upgrade because I have a loose copy of Bloody Wolf, and then I got, what is this? Somebody's messaging me. Did they censor YouPorn? I don't know who did that.
No, look.
Butthead was censored in the chat.
Yeah.
I didn't see that over here, but maybe
we
maybe
couldn't
it
see
did.
it on there.
I don't know. So I got, I had a loose. Now I have a loose copy of Bloody Wolf and a complete in case copy of Military Madness. I'm going to get rid of, and then I got Devil's Crush, which is one I really wanted. That was the pinball game. Champions Forever Boxing, Sonic Spike, those are two cheapos. Sinistron, which I had a loose copy of when I got that turbo lot forever ago, but it didn't work. Like I tried to get it to work, I never did, so I sold it broken. I sold it as is, I should say. Final Zone 2, which is a turbo CD. Lords of the Rising Sun, which is a turbo CD, and then I got 3 super CD ROMs: Prince of Persia, Riot Zone, and then the Godzilla fighting game, which is pretty amazing, by the way.
Oh yeah, that one was awesome.
That's a PC Engine. The PC Engine one, but I snagged that too. So that was really kind of the crux of what I bought while I was there. Like I said, I half thought about getting the turbo CD, but I'm honestly glad I didn't buy it. I never had the box for one, and I don't really care if I ever get the box for one. I wanted the actual console. I have the AC adapter for it, but I have nothing else that goes with it other than the Turbo Express or the Turbo itself. So I need the base and the CD and all that stuff. There was a guy selling the whole kit for like $750, and I'm like, that's too much. Like, it's just, you could buy the whole thing with the turbo for that much. So I was like, I'm not buying that. But
well, that just gives us a reason to go on a road trip for a Play Choice 10.
Yeah, maybe it might.
Just say.
So I did. That reminds me, I got one more thing I got to talk about now that we're an hour and 15 minutes in and haven't gotten to the show topic. Okay. But just yesterday, our good friend Matty Ice from the Matty Ice and Marky Mark podcast called me on his way into work because he's now working thirds at a new job, which he really enjoys and loves. And we got to talking, and he was asking about the trip, and I explained to him all the fun that I had at Galloping Ghost. And I said, one of the things I really want to get is an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 cabinet, like an actual upright. And he said, well, Colin, his roommate, who's also a friend of mine, I think he has a Mortal Kombat cabinet, like an empty one that used to be a Golden Tee, or a Golden Tee that used to be a Mortal Kombat, or whatever it was. So like within 5 minutes, the next thing you know, I'm getting messages from Colin with pictures of the actual cabinet. And it is a Mortal Kombat 1 cabinet. It has no glass, it has no monitor, it has no control panel, and it does not have the right marquee. The marquee says Golden Tee. But it's got the Johnny Cage side art. It's the right cabinet, which is the hardest part to find. Like, that dedicated cabinet is the hardest part to find. Will you get off your phone, Amy, please?
No.
Can I talk to you? Can we?
Yeah. Manny was texting me. Sorry. Jeez. And I got the work stuff. I'm on call this week.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. So, but anyway, so
cab. You got the cab.
So I'm going to go pick the cabinet up tomorrow. And Robbie has already secured a board and control panel overlays for the controllers.
Which look gorgeous.
Yeah, they're old stock. He's got a guy in Chicago that he deals with that has a bunch of this stuff. So he went and picked that up for me. I've already paid him for that. It's on its way. I already have the marquee. I have a Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 marquee.
You got them at the house.
Yep. And then now I need to get a monitor, which I talked to Marky Mark about, from the podcast.
From Marky Mark and
works at Crazy Quarters, and he put me in contact with the owner there, who's going to help me find a monitor. I don't know what else is in the cabinet yet. So if like there's monitor mounts or if there's a power supply, or I have no idea yet.
That stuff is, that's all.
I'll figure that out. Most of it's universal and whatever. So I just have to figure out what I need. But yeah, I'm going to build it into, it's going to start as a Mortal Kombat 1 cabinet, but ultimately what I might do is, what a lot of people do is they essentially set up all three inside, and then they just change the JAMA connector from which one they want, and then they can change the marquee. So I'll probably leave the Johnny Cage art, although I think it's not in great shape. If it's not that good, what I'll probably do is wipe it and get the Sindel Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 side art. and then that'll be how I'll lay it out as an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and then just switch the boards as I need. So, but yeah, so that was like a total like, what are the odds kind of thing, and so I'm gonna go pick it up tomorrow, and I'm super hyped about it. So, yeah, that was it, man.
End up being a great deal.
Well, it's not only is it a great deal, but it's going to help Colin get it out of his basement, which he doesn't know. He doesn't want to do anything with it. He doesn't have to do anything other than help me get it in the car, and then it gives me the project where I can start. Like, I've always wanted one of these, and it's hard to find them complete and for sale, right? It's just impossible. So I was like, you know what? I'll just build one, and this is an OG cabinet. Like, this would have been a cabinet somebody would have converted to a Mortal Kombat 2 or 3 anyway. So what's the diff? So yeah. So with that,
and you've already got 2/3 of the parts.
Yeah, I do. The monitor is going to be making sure I have mounts for the monitor, getting a power supply, and then I can get a new old stock control panel on eBay. I've already looked, and it's pre-drilled and all that stuff, so I might do that, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to talk to Jeff first because he also deals with all this stuff a lot, and see if maybe he has other things that he can help me or any advice or whatever before I go running off. And I want to get it in my hands before I go buying anything because I don't know what else I need to get yet.
Well, yeah, you'll have to assess it once you actually, because you've only seen it at this point in pictures.
So we are now 1 hour and 18 minutes into our recording and stream.
So you want me to tell them?
Why don't you tell people?
Tell them where to find us?
Yeah, you know what we probably should have done since we did the collecting update. You never put it back. You got to put it back. We got to at least play the song.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll edit it in earlier so it seems like I put it in, but well, I can't do that if I'm talking over shit.
We could just put it in.
I know. So anyway, that was the collecting update. That was the outro this time. So we've made it. We've arrived at the show topic.
An hour,
Jay,
18 minutes.
Let's talk. I sat here and said, all these notes are so long and well laid out, we won't be here very long. And I lied. So, Jay,
Mike,
today's show topic is
Gex for the 3DO. Foop.
It's time to get Gexual.
Time to get Gexual, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, let's talk about Gex, right? So, primarily about the 3DO. We'll talk a little bit about the PlayStation and Saturn ports of the game.
Yeah.
There was also another version that was ported as well. We'll talk a little bit about that, but why don't you tell me a little bit about the gameplay and story of Gex for those who are unaware? Okay.
It's pretty straightforward. So it's a side-scrolling platform. I actually like this analogy. It's like Poltergeist, but with geckos.
Yeah.
That's a good way to lay it out.
The intro of this game is Gex sitting in a lounger, like Barker lounger chair.
Yeah.
And he gets sucked into a television.
Yes. Well, the television reaches out and like grabs him.
Right. Gets pulled in. Just like Poltergeist, but with geckos.
Yes. Just like Poltergeist, but with geckos.
So yeah, this was let me say this part.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm reading about the lore of this all, right? And oh yeah, I have to say one more thing. I got a copy of Silent Service from Cartmageddon, complete in box Silent Service that is now moved into my collection, and now I have a secondary boxed Silent Service for sale because I cannot sell the one Cartmageddon gave me. I'm sorry, I did forget about that, Robbie. It was hidden half. It was absconded by it was behind the Capcom sign in the photo. Yeah. I totally forgot. So, back to Gex.
Yes,
Gex lives in a mansion in Maui, Hawaii.
Living a good life.
He apparently inherited a great deal of money when his great uncle died. This is all Gex lore that I pulled up.
Gex lore.
Gex laws. So, please.
So Gex eats a fly. This is actually a drone controlled by Rez. Rez would be the bad guy.
Right. So the intro is he's sitting there watching TV talking about how he just getting done with his nude funkercise or whatever weird 90s thing that he was saying at the time.
I forgot about that.
And he eats this fly that is what in turn allows Rez, who is the evil lord of the media dimension, right, to pull him into the television that he's watching.
Yes. Right.
And his plans with Gex are what?
To make him a TV network mascot, of course.
Why does everybody want to make this guy a mascot?
Geico, baby.
First, it's for you ruined my jokes, man.
Sorry.
You ruined my jokes. I've been leading to this the whole time, and you jump right in. I'm editing that.
Okay.
I'm
Ready? Hold on. Pause.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Crystal Dynamics wants him to be their mascot. 3DO kind of wants him to be their mascot.
Yeah.
Rez wants him to be the mascot of this whatever TV network in the whatever media dimension.
Yeah.
And then Geico. You see, I was leading to it all. You always jump right to the punchline. You don't let me take the long walk ever. That's the fun.
You take too long to get there.
Yeah, I know I do. But yeah, there's something about this. Isn't there a ton of Rush Limbaugh references in this game? I don't think so. If they are, I didn't get them. But there's a lot of references to a lot of things, and we'll talk about that.
There's a lot of Johnny Carson ones.
There's a lot of them. I made a list of a few,
okay.
So we'll talk about it when we get to that whole part of it. But like we'll talk about it during the sound and music and stuff.
So on to the gameplay. It's 5 channels is the way it lays out.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Right here, right after he's used as a TV mascot. What does that say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we got past that.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't. It was the whole joke ruined it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So Gex must find remotes to turn on TVs and destroy them, which is ironically strange, and destroy them in order to get back home.
Well, it's almost like he doesn't destroy television. He destroys like these channels. So the TVs still work after. It's just static.
Yeah.
So you go into these, you have to use these remotes, which turn on TVs, which are each of the different like 4 worlds or whatever it is. I said five channels. They
5
call
channels
it,
and 24
levels. But each of those channels has these different televisions that are turned on by remotes that you find in each level.
Yes.
And it's a little abstract, but you turn on a because there's times where you'd find a remote and it's not for the level you're on. It will be the next channel that you go to that you need it for.
Or we had a couple, and it may have just been the order we were in, but so it's almost like a star pattern, like Super Mario 3. And we got one, and we thought it was the next level you move to.
Nope.
But it was like 2 over.
Yeah. So it just depends.
Yeah.
But you go to these and then you have to get to the end, which is like a TV that you go to, right?
Yep.
You want to find the remotes and then get to the end. And then while you're playing in these levels, you can save your progress by hitting the camera. There's like a Polaroid type camera that you whip your tail at, and it will take a picture. That's your virtual
That's like
save
your
state.
midpoint on that,
right?
On that particular.
And then you
board.
can also find videotapes that like store your game, right?
Yes.
And on a 3DO, the 3DO is the only one that actually stores it on the console and saves it. With the Saturn and PS1, it is done through passwords.
Yes.
So, but it was weird because you would finish a level and then it would just go to like static. The TV would no longer be broadcasting and you could no longer go to that level.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But yes, it has 5 channels, 24 levels in all. And then, so a little bit of talk about the enemies. So the enemies are like the little torch dudes.
There's a bunch
fireballs.
of, there's like an actual torch that like comes alive and throws fireballs at you.
Yes.
There's the guy who looks like,
He looks like Jason.
but he has like the leather face chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's really kind of weird. I got to a level where there were like these purple things that would make a ring, and then you have to hit that and they would blow them up into like 4 of the purple things that you have to kill. I don't know what they were.
Yes.
And there was
like gargoyles.
Yeah.
That shoot fireballs at you.
There was one that was like a bear or some sort of animal that you hit and it would knock all of his clothes off, and then you hit him again and you would die. We should also mention the fact that the star of Gex is an anthropomorphic gecko.
Yes.
Right? We've never said that.
Yes.
So he's actually a gecko that runs around and like he can whip his tail, he can use his tongue to eat stuff. That's how you get power-ups in the game. Right, you can climb on walls. You can climb on the side of a wall or up against a wall, almost like flat up against it or up the edge of it. So there's a lot of different dynamics to how you play the game. So, and which is actually the next note here. How convenient.
Yes,
the next 2 actually.
He can walk, run, jump, and walk on walls and ceilings.
That's right. Go ahead.
So, and his attacks, of course, include the tail whip, just like you said. The tail bounce. So basically, you jump and you'd hold down, and he would coil his tail up, and he could hit underneath them. Or if there was like a block that you had to destroy, you could do that with it. And then he had the projectiles with power-ups. So one power-up he would eat, and he'd have a fireball he would spit. He had the other one where he's invincible. The other one that speeds him up.
Speed.
He had the ice. It was still like a fireball, but it was ice.
Ice ball.
Yeah, and then he would turn him into a big giant ice cube, and he could hit the ice cube, and it would shatter them.
John says it smells like Gex and candy in the hummingbird suite.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if it did. And he whips his tail back and forth. Running sucks on this game. He's right. So you can run. With the 3DO, you hold down the left shoulder button to run.
Yes.
It is only good when you have to make a long jump or if you have the invincibility and know exactly what you're doing, because
Yes.
one of the things about this game is if you're not careful, you will die very easily by falling into like a pit or something like that, and you don't always have visibility. So there are like lots of these leaps of faith where you're like, okay, they kind of guide you sometimes by you part of the game also is that you pick up these golden flies, you eat them as you go along the way. You accrue 100 of them. They're like coins in Mario. They give you another guy. So if you whatever. But they'll kind of guide you to like make an arrow to go down here, or if you see that there's a set of them, you would want to know you could safely jump down there and not have to worry that you're going to jump into like a swamp or something and die. Which I think is weird. Why wouldn't a gecko be able to survive in a swamp? It's not that deep even.
Even more so if you have the invincibility, which gives like the little tornado around you.
Yeah.
If you fall in that, you still die.
Well, anyway, so you start with 3 lives.
Yep.
You also start with like 3 paws. Those are like you can get hit 3 times like your life meter, and you can pick up power ups along the way that augment that all the way up to like 6. Yeah, 6 here. Yeah. So you can at some points in the game you need that because there are places where you're just like you either have to jump and get hit or hope that you time it perfectly so you do not get hit. Right. So that is good.
And like you were saying earlier, 3DO, we just have that on here. So 3DO allows saves on the console, but you have to get the videotapes. That's very distracting. But on PS1 and Saturn, they had a password system you use, or a passcode system.
Time to talk a little bit about background and development. So
Tell me more, Mike.
Oh, I'll go through this whole thing. I wrote a big old page, right? So basically, this game was developed and published by Crystal Dynamics, okay? Crystal Dynamics was founded by a bunch of former Sega employees in like 1993. And they were the first licensed developer for the 3DO. They were heavily in bed with the 3DO right away. In fact, Crash and Burn was the launch title for the 3DO, and it came out as a $700 console in 1994 or whatever it was, okay? So Crash and Burn was like literally the first game that ever came out. It was the only game you could get for it when it came out.
3DO was $700 back then.
Yeah. $700 back then. So that's about, I don't know, $1,500 nowadays. Who knows?
Yeah, that'd be
a lot. So
I'm gonna find an inflation calculator.
It's probably about $1,400, I'd bet. Total Eclipse was another one they put out. Off-World Interceptor, and then they developed and published all of those, and then they actually published The Horde for 3DO and Samurai Showdown. Now, I know you know who actually developed Samurai Showdown, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, who's the star of The Horde? There is a person that is in The Horde, a famous person. Pop quiz.
I don't know. I've honestly never played The Horde.
Do you ever watch Growing Pains?
Yeah. Kirk Cameron?
That's the one.
Shut up.
Kirk Cameron is the star of The Horde.
I've never played The Horde.
So, yeah, $6.99 right there, John says. So, anyway, Crystal Dynamics got acquired by IDOS in 1998. IDOS popular for the Tomb Raider series and all that stuff. And then in turn, IDOS was acquired by Square Enix in 2009. That studio was kind of focused on Tomb Raider. They're working on a Perfect Dark reboot. And I just found out that the studio is now being sold again, along with IDOS Montreal and Square Enix Montreal, to the Embracer Group, which is like a Swedish video game publishing conglomerate. Who also, they own the people who did the Borderlands games and all that. They're part of that too. So, but man,
I like those Borderlands games.
Yeah, they're
Those are
good.
fun.
They're good. So this game suffered in development. Okay, and there were a lot of challenges with getting it developed. I found out. So ultimately, they wanted to have it out by like Christmas of '94, right, or whatever it was. And they, being Panasonic and I guess really Panasonic, they were used to publishing games. Like this was a new thing. 3D was a new thing. 32-bit was a new platform, right? This was all brand new. So they were used to writing games for like Super Nintendo and stuff, and it took a lot less effort, a lot less colors, a lot less space, a lot less things. So when they went to go develop this, it was a very ambitious project. Like they were like, originally it was going to be about 3 times the size as it actually wound up being. And the game was supposed to come out they started development like right after the studio was founded. And then it was supposed to come out in like Christmas of '94. It did, and I'll talk about when they all come out, but April of '95 is when it finally came out. And it was very stunted compared to what they were the ambitious project that they had envisioned. And they had a lot of struggles. So as I read about it, I took one excerpt that I'm going to read.
Yeah.
Okay. So the lead designer on this game at the time was Justin Knorr, Knorr. And basically, I cobbled this together from like 3 different articles. Okay. But and I'm going to just kind of like say this is not verbatim. This is all paraphrased. But essentially, in the middle of the game's, they say, strenuous development, a number of the developers joined together to secretly program several features into the game. A series of secret levels, a small 2D shooter, and a small minigame. Now, if your game is already struggling to hit the target date, the deadline, why are you developing a bunch of ancillary stuff? So let's start there. But whatever. They needed a break, okay? And the way it sounded to me was, essentially everybody was working overtime except the lead designer here, Justin. Like everybody was like working long shifts, trying to get this thing done. They call it crunching now, I think, right? And then he was basically coming in at 10, leaving at 6, and was kind of checked out of the. That's again, that's not my opinion. That's just how I read it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the team was responsible for all this, and also programmed a hidden extended credits sequence, which featured photos of the staff and a wide array of concept art, sketches, and storyboards. This lasted like 7 or 8 minutes. I never saw it, but apparently it existed. So at one point in development, one of the stages that was designed by the lead designer, Justin Knorr, was edited without his permission. Again, they're there doing whatever they need to get the game out, and he's not there, so they just made
putting in a cool 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
And they're working 15, 16 hours a day.
They made, it sounds exactly like a team from Sega, that's John says. Huh? They made the executive decision to do this. The level that was removed had several bugs, and since the game was already 8 to 9 months late of its initial completion deadline, the company removed them and wanted to ship the game as soon as they could. So he found out, right? Old Justin, the lead designer, found this out and got pissed off. So what he did is, in this game, there are question marks in this game that you can whip with your tail. And when you do that, it's kind of like when you go to like a block in Super Mario World and you bump up in it, like the question, whatever, the exclamation block, and it will tell you like, hey, maybe jump on Yoshi for a minute. It like gives you hints, right? This game does the same thing. So it's like, hey, you'll whip it and it'd be like, yo, you can stick to walls, or, give you like a little tip. So in one of those question marks, I think it was level 3, he said he left a hidden message that taught players a cheat code to get them to the game's stage select, which had over 80 slots, even though there were only 28 levels in the game. Again, speaking to what the original aspiration was versus what they actually did. I got to that, actually. I did get to the stage select. It's a long code, but I got to it. Yeah. And I used it for another thing we'll talk about in a little bit.
Could you imagine if this was actually 80 levels, though?
Oh, my God, no.
This would be too much.
It's already too much.
Yes.
And anyway, so in that, he left a secret code and told people how to get to a specific stage, which contained the original version of the level that he produced. The one with all the bugs. Genius move.
Yeah.
So he had 3 more messages in the original version of that level. So in that level, he had, in his hidden level, the unfinished, poorly coded error level, he put 3 messages in there. One, which disclosed the personal phone number of the head of product development, Miss Madeline Canepa, where he encouraged players to call her and, quote, give her a piece of your mind and my mind too. This is like the most toxic guy ever. So anyway, like instead of handling it like a goddamn adult, and I don't know Justin, I'm not going to pretend like I know him, but I mean, maybe he regrets his decision. That's not exactly how you want to deal with adversity. So it says that was eventually found by playtesters, leading to the immediate firing of Justin Knorr. Appropriately so.
It's shitty, but it is funny.
It's funny now, but yes. I mean, like, you're already way behind, and this guy's like pissed off that they took something out that didn't work, that we didn't have time to flesh out anyway, and then he wants to be you got enough time to do all that, but you don't have enough time to fix all your bugs, Mr. Lead Designer. Yeah. And then he got fired, and I think rightfully so. So anyway, R.I.P. Justin. Yeah, it was everything I read, as I read about all these old games that I loved as a kid, there's always this fucking drama in every single one of them where it's like, oh, this guy stabbed a guy because he tried to change the color of this guy's hair, or whatever it is. Like nowadays, it's like, Jesus,
there's always some crazy story in the development.
That's not my vision, or whatever it is. Like there's always, and when you deal with people, this is what you get. So why don't you tell me a little bit about when this game came out and on which platforms?
I will. And before I do that, though, I did pull up the the inflation calculator. So I looked, 3DO came out in 1993 in North America.
Yep.
$700. John actually commented in the chat there.
Maybe he actually harassed her, he said.
Nice.
He wasn't there enough, man.
In 2022, the 3DO, if it was to be released today, would be $1,392.75.
Almost nailed it.
Yes, that was pretty impressive.
That's ridiculous.
Very, very impressive.
Could you imagine spending $1,300 for a CD?
God, no.
Like
Well,
a
some
3DO?
people are doing shit like that. They were doing shit like that for the PS5 last year.
To be fair, somebody paid $1,600 for a turbo CD at Midwest Gaming Classic. So
Yeah, that's true.
who's to say?
Yeah, so there you go. But
Anyway,
so release-wise...
that also means that Gex would have cost $120 today.
Yes.
Anyway, go on.
So the release, so for the 3DO, it came out in April of 95. PlayStation, that one, came out in December of 1995. And then the Sega Saturn came out in
Also-
December of 1995. And then the PC version came out in November of 1996.
Correct.
So almost a year later.
So yeah, those were really the 4 platforms you could play this on, right?
Yep.
And it was everything I've read. I've played all 3 of these before. My personal opinion is the 3DO version is the best version. Partly because you can save, but also just because of how it looks and feels. Like the other ones were ported by another company, and I just don't think that they play as well. I didn't like them as well.
I think the 3DO one was better.
I've
overall.
never played the PC version, but
Well, yeah.
anyway. So yeah, Robbie says I'm going to head out. Guess I'm not going to be able to call back in. Mike, I texted you my quote unquote review. I've got it right here, sir. Worry not. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the music and sound of this game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the thing I found the most appealing about this game and annoying about this game back then and now, both, is that it was voiced by Dana Gould. Gex was actually voiced by Dana Gould. Dana Gould, known primarily as a writer. Okay. He was a writer on The Simpsons. He was a co-executive producer on The Simpsons for about like a few years in the early 2000s. He was a fragile Frankie Merman on Seinfeld. So when he gave him the van after, he gave Seinfeld the van. He was the kid who would in summer camp would go dig a hole and sit in it. Cause if things didn't go his way. So that was him as well. And he was he wrote all the, Gex has all these one-liners in the game, right? He's constantly saying something and it's all rife with this 90s. It's very 90s, all of it. I should say that. But all these quips and stuff, they are dripping with that slacker tude mentality that you saw so much of in the 90s, right? And he did a good job. My only problem with it is it just becomes so repetitive sometimes because there are a lot of different ones. I basically looked up all of them and there are a number of them, but man, you hear a lot of them this very often, in specific, he does things in specific situations. So if he attacks or if he gets hit or if he jumps or if he falls, they all have sounds that go along with that, action. So
And it's funny at first.
yeah, and it's even funny sometimes no matter what. But it's just sometimes you're just oh my God. So there's just a ton of cultural references too. So I put down a few of them here. So when you jump, you can in the graveyard channel or whatever it is, you can jump on a coffin. And when you jump on a coffin, the lid of the coffin flies up and it shoots you up in the air, almost like a what's the thing in Mario, the spring, right? It's almost like that, but they're
The
coffins.
little, in Super Mario 3, the little white exclamation points, when you jump on them, they bounce you way up.
No, I'm talking about the spring things that it's in the very first one. You jump on that and shoot you up in the air, right? It's kind of like that. But he jumps on and he says, "Sorry, Mr. Presley."
Oh,
He's
yeah,
talking about Elvis,
that one
right?
was
In
funny.
the coffin, right? So one of the enemies that you fight in the first few levels is a television, and he hits it. He'll whack it with his tail, and he'll say something like, "That's for 12 years of Full House," or whatever it is. He took damage. If he takes damage, he'll scream Adrian, in Rocky. When he attacks, he'll say, "This one's for Johnny," which is what is this? Outsiders, right?
Yes.
It's a paraphrase quote there. And when you swing your tail, I heard this one today. He swings his tail to you. Like I said, there's a Polaroid or Kodak. Polaroid is right. A Polaroid camera sitting there that you swipe, you hit your tail with, and it saves your level in your progress in a level.
Yeah.
And it'll say "the times of your life," which was the Kodak slogan, which was an old Paul Anka song or something. I forget what it was, but he does impersonations. So he does Johnny Carson. He does a number of William Shatner ones. Talks about Spock and all that stuff. He says, My name is Forrest Gex, he says one time. I'm like, when did this game come out? Like, how late was the production of this game? Because the game came out in 95. I mean, Forrest Gump didn't come out much before that. So, but anyway, the thing I found that was the crown jewel, though, easily the crown jewel.
Yeah.
As I'm playing around the note block, thank you. That's what he was talking about with you. I was talking about something else, but that's what you're talking about. The note block.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going through the stage select, and I'm like, I'm going to go to the end credits. What do the end credits look like? It just scrolls their names.
Yes.
But when it scrolls their names, it plays a song.
Oh, we need to hear this song. Do you happen to have any way we can listen to it?
I happen to have access to it right here.
Oh.
So I'm going to play a little bit of this song.
Hear this.
Just to give you an idea of, if you've never played Gex, this will give you some idea of what you're dealing with before you get into it.
Who is this tiny dino? Bad green, but he ain't me. Cool shades on a fighting machine. Whipping tail, spitting fire. He's a wizard of the lizard killer gecko for hire. He's a Gex. T-Rex? He's Gex.
And this goes on for like 2.5 minutes. It's like the shitty knockoff synth version of the Shaft's theme, right? It's
like the end theme song, the credits to every Q Essential 80s movie.
Yeah.
Every one.
It is.
Ghostbusters?
Yep. That's how it would end.
Yes.
Which is perfect for that.
Yes.
But it's so bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
If you want to look it up, it's just, if you go look up Gex OST credits theme or whatever it is on YouTube, oh my God. Don't listen to the whole thing. Please. It's worse. Is it worse than the Scottie Pippen rap?
No.
Okay.
No,
it's not.
No.
I don't think it is either.
No.
Maybe that's a vote. He's too Gexy for his shirt. Yeah, well, he's got that Gex appeal.
I'm afraid to have John when John gets on.
So, speaking of having John on.
Oh, yeah. We're about that time.
We're getting close. I'm going to grab a pen since you grabbed one for yourself.
I got one for both of us. We can share.
Give me that.
I don't know why you don't just write it down anyways. I write it down all the time too, but it's like there's no reason for
I don't know. Anyway.
Because you actually do the graphic.
I know. That's why I'm like, I probably should do it.
Yeah.
Let's give everybody John a call here. It's time for the reception of this game and the LJN game rating. I'm going to say, before I get into any of that, I believe it was CES 94. This game won 3DO Game of the Year from GamePro.
Really?
And in 1995, it also won a couple of 3DO Games of the Year.
You know I'm going to look at that.
Look it up. It's in the Wikipedia. I will also say that I believe this was, and I don't have any way to confirm this, I believe this is the best-selling game on the 3DO. It definitely seems like it's the most abundant game on the 3DO, and I would assume that it was actually the best-selling game. It was a pack-in for a while. So, like, when they cut the cost of the console to $299, and I think they released the FZ10. So there's 3 different 3DOs in the US. There's the Panasonic FZ1, which is the tray load, the Panasonic FZ10, which is the top load, side load, like the Sega CD Model 2, and then there's a Gold Star 3DO, which is also a drive tray, but I believe this was the pack-in with the FZ10. Now I can't find any boxes out there or anything that show that, but I know that was the case because in like the October 1995 GamePro magazine, they talked about how this game was going to become a pack-in and they were lowering the price to $300 or something like that. And then of course a year later the 3DO was pronounced dead. So with that, I think it's time to actually get into the LJN game ratings. And Jay has had to excuse himself for a moment. He's got something going on. So I'm going to give our friend John a call. So hold tight, everyone.
Hey, sir.
The one and only retro game enthusiast, John Young. Everybody, John Young. Magmax aficionado.
I've been meaning to ask. I think that's the arcade song. I don't think the NES song has that many notes.
I don't think it is. I think it is it. I'm almost positive I pulled it from an NES thing.
Could be.
So funny story. Thank you for joining us, sir, by the way, as always.
Yeah.
I went out looking for Magmax in the box at Midwest Gaming Classic. I found one copy in poor condition with no manual and decided against purchasing it because I felt I could find a better one.
Yeah, man, it's hard to find a good Magmax that's in good condition and not sealed.
Yeah.
There's a ton of dead stock. Dead stock. Just buy a sealed one and open it. It'll be fun.
You can't do that nowadays. Don't say that.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't ever say that. Are you kidding?
This isn't live, is it? Can you cut it?
Yeah, hold on. I'll edit it live.
I'm smack somebody on
I'll
stage.
have to work on my live editing skills. But anyway, so how are you?
Pretty good, man. I got some pickups for later, but
good.
And a big miss. I almost spent a couple $100,000 on something, but
oh man. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh no, now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I was like, wow, what are you buying, an NWC card or something? And I'm like, oh, never mind. No, probably be easier to get one of those than what you were trying to buy right now. So,
honestly, yeah, I could have for the over. So I tried to buy a house, and for the over the asking price, I had to offer them more money than an NWC card could go for, probably.
Well, that just means your priorities are out of whack.
Well, that's true.
You messed up.
So if anybody's selling an NWC for 20% of a Kansas City home price, let me know.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
No, let me know, and I'll let you know if I don't want it.
Right.
Anyway. Yes, tell me. I mean, I guess you got some pickups. Tell me what you got there. I mean, I could have called you earlier too.
I sniped Mike Tyson. Did you hear of this game?
Oh yes, I saw this today.
I sniped it on a Joan Bone. Not that I want more competition, but essentially, Joan Bone's the person to follow. He posts, and within a matter of 30 seconds, you gotta check what he's got and type claim. And I got Mike Tyson's Punch Out and World Champion.
World Champ.
One of those NES games. Yeah, World Champ, sorry. One of those games that you always forget is an NES game.
Yes. And it's funny because, again, nobody's listening, so it's a perfect time to tell everybody. The one life hack from a collecting perspective is if you're looking for decent things for a relatively fair price, JoanBone7 on Instagram will about once a week, every couple of weeks, will make a post where he's selling. And he's always selling stuff that he has a very refined collection, right? He has very, very nice things. So usually the things that he upgrades from, or the things he has are usually in nice condition, whether they're all graded 9.8s or not. So one of the things that I did, and I think you even probably told me to do this, was, set it up so I knew when he was posting. Because I have most certainly picked up things from him. I think I got my Beetlejuice from him. I think I got my Complete in Box School from him. I know I got a first print Zelda from him. But you got to be quick. You sent me that screen cap today, and man, you beat somebody for that. It was a decent Tyson, Complete in Box. It was the promo copy, same one I've got sitting over my shoulder here with the oval seal. So it's like a late run, which is whatever, but it had the letter, right?
Yeah.
And for that price, the letter is almost that price nowadays, I feel like.
Exactly. I think Tyler got a Rob box from him for half of what they were going for on eBay. He's normally reasonably priced for the quality that he has. It's always he's upgrading his collection. He's one of the original Nintendo Age guys that was into sealed and complete box stuff that didn't go into water. So he's still in kind of that group of people, and he's got the connection. And he's like Robbie. He hits the ground hard, and is always looking for stuff. He works for what he gets.
Yep, absolutely. So, but I can't speak highly enough of him. He ships quick. He ships securely. He's a good dude. Easy to deal with, and highly recommended. So JoanBone7 or Jonas on Instagram there. So why don't you? Let's say that you just want to refresh Gex in your mind, and maybe you haven't played it in a very long time, maybe ever. But let's say you haven't played it in a very long time, and you played it for this show. Thank you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience and thoughts on this game, and then perhaps provide some kind of a rating?
Okay, let me take you back to 1995. This was around the time when like people started to say, you know what, I'm not getting every console. Like before, like there was a lot of homes that were Super Nintendo. Well, yeah, of course not you. But like there were people that were like, all right, in my house I have to have the NES and the Master System. Maybe not so much. But then like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, there were a lot of homes that were both those. And there were people that kept on top of what was going on with TurboGrafx 16, even though like, you know, whatever. But once these $700 consoles started coming into play, like in my mind, I was already that old man that was like, I don't have time for this shit. Like, I'm not going to like learn about this Gex nonsense. Stop trying to pull me in with what you think I'm going to want. So like in the 90s, nobody cared. It was like, all right, no, this is a whole area I'm not going to get into. So I didn't play it at all, to be honest. I honestly, up until last week, I thought this was still like, I thought I could just use my Nintendo 64 copy to play, which turns out it's a sequel.
Wrong.
So bought it off eBay. It got here 2 days ago. I put in about 4 hours. Honestly, solid game. Like, it's got that like mid 90s feel. It's got that Donkey Kong Country, a little bit of Crash Bandicoot, a little bit of, you know, like that exploration goofiness. If I was maybe 4 years younger and this came out on the system that I could afford, this would have hit just right with that like Dana Gould comedy and like the goofy kind of nature, almost like the Duck Dodgers kind of like artistic style in some levels.
Yep, I agree.
And the power-ups were good. And at the time, to get like the music it had, and then also like those sound bites, you got to remember, like to have a game with a bunch of sound bites. We were excited about NBA Jams because he said it's heating up in like 12 other phrases tops.
Yep.
And like, so we didn't get annoyed by somebody repeating the same phrase over and over again, and discovering a new phrase was also something kind of interesting.
And understanding the reference too, like especially back then, I got most of those references. Like, you know, like if you're in that culture in that moment and you're just like a teenager or in your early 20s or whatever at that time, you knew what all that stuff they were talking about. Like he does a Scarface impersonation. It was all of the mainstream Indiana Jones references. He makes a number of them. And I think that's smart. Like looking back at it now, it almost becomes like this time capsule, right?
Right. And it's also a bit of that, like we're in this culture, right? A little bit like Monty Python, where it's like, hey, you know, all these like weird things dorky kids are talking about, we're talking about it as the game developers as well. So I think that was kind of where they're going, like, hey, nerds, we're into this stuff too. At least that's how I kind of like saw it. Now, there's a bunch of references I didn't get, but I did like a couple of times, like he said things. We're joking about, let's see, sexual stuff. But like he said things that were mildly sexual, like very implied.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He also said it's time to open a can of whoop ass. And I remember being like, wow, that game just said ass.
Wasn't there like a, was that a Nintendo ad where there was like a can and it was a whoop ass? Like,
probably. I don't remember. I just got busted. I was sitting in Jay's seat. I was pretending to be Jay. You didn't even know it. Undetectable from this side.
Oh, I'm not
sorry,
talking
everybody.
to Jay.
No, that was not Jay. It was Mike. I'm sorry. I tricked you. Anyway, go ahead.
If you're in that seat, I can't tell.
I'm way more handsome.
Thought it was Jay. What's going on here?
When I picked this up, it did kind of like jump back in, almost like I was playing like a Donkey Kong Country, like, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It's, you know, I never thought about it like that, but it's a very good analogy. It's true. It feels like that kind of like Gex is rendered. The rest of it is not. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of irritated by that. But it was, again, like, we only have so much time, people.
Right. And the controls are a little iffy, but once you get into them, they're not too bad. And the fact that it's not 3D like the later Gex games, I think makes a big difference.
It aged better because of it.
Exactly. And you could tell there was some love put into the game. It has a little bit of that
and hatred
feel too.
What's that?
Yeah. General, like, as soon as I started playing it now, it brought me back to almost like games that I didn't get to play or that you had wanted them to be that good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It does get a little grating with some of the, liners and stuff. But honestly, the level design isn't bad. I've only gotten to like the end of the second boss level. The music's not bad. It's not amazing music, but like that Nickelodeon style situation going on.
I feel like the music is contextually aware and it is not obtrusive. It's fine. It fades into the background. It's not something you're going to remember, but it's not something that you're also going to remember because it sucked either. It was good. I would put it at like a above average, like good, environmentally aware type music.
Yeah, and the special effects actually kind of play in with the music a bit better than I think that a lot of games do today. So, I mean, and the power-ups are great. Great. Interesting. Fun to kind of come across.
Let's just say good.
So I'm glad that I'm going first, the guy that's only played several hours of it.
Yes, which is more than Robbie.
Okay, well, the first
several hours more.
Yes.
First boss battle was fun. I did a couple of bonus rounds. Those were kind of fun, like in a stealth phony game kind of way. I feel like I'm going to keep playing it. So this one's hard. I mean, like for a PlayStation game of the time. There's also a little bit of Rayman in there.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And the whole Pitfall, Mayan Adventure kind of feel.
Right.
That's a little slipperier than this, but same kind of like that foray into 32-bit platforming that was 2D and not like horrible.
Yeah, and there's so many other games that did it so poorly that like this definitely feels like it's in that like exploring what's next phase and did a good job of it.
Yeah.
Wasn't this his dad that died? Am I wrong? You said uncle, right?
It said great uncle from what I read. There was a video where they talked about how his dad died, but I don't think that was, maybe his dad died, but that was not how he got all the money.
Okay. All right. Well, then I obviously didn't do the research.
He was the oldest of 5 gecko children or something.
If I got to put this like in the pantheon of like these kind of games, like the CGI, also the opening, sorry, to step back on this, like that CGI opening had that, you remember like when you first started getting like FMV video games and that CD, like that video intro where it's like, this is an event. Dreamcast did that well.
Yeah.
I actually had that feeling. I've not had that for like a game in a while where like the intro is like, it's fine.
You actually had to watch it and it was part of the story and it brought you into what was going on.
Yeah, and it had like that cinematic, and I mentioned this in the chat, but you don't read all my comments, which you shouldn't. There's a short online video thing called The Legend of Neil that does that too, the pull into the TV show.
Yeah.
Which is worth checking out. And then there's also Captain N did the same thing. So it's not.
Oh,
just
of course, Captain N. Yes, I knew that.
So, but I'm going back and forth. Is it a game that if I had played it, that I would be like, oh yeah, I want to play that again? Maybe not. But I mean, I say it's like in the contextual nature of like Donkey Kong Country, maybe a little bit of Mario 64, Sonic Adventures, like just trying to get like a feel for that generation of, mid 90s to late 90s games.
Yeah.
I put it at like a 3.5. It's worth playing. It's a decent platformer, better than most of the shitty ones I picked up. I could be convinced at a 4. I could also be convinced for a 3 because of the control.
Yeah,
that's also.
I could see that.
No CDI.
Hey, so Kaylin is asking if we've lost sound. Can you guys hear us now, or are you not hearing us still? We dropped for a minute there in the middle of your conversation. I noticed that the stream dropped, and then it has come back, but it seems like we have no sound. So, can you hear me? Anybody out there? I don't know if anybody's still there.
Let me hop on.
That's fine. Yeah. Sorry.
I hear you. That's all that matters.
Yes. And it seems like it's working fine here, but it's no sound on Twitch, but sound on Facebook. So let me go. I'm going to kill the stream and bring it back up. I don't think I have a good reason why that would be that way. So let me do that. I'll be right back, everybody. John, you can stick if you want. Hold on.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, we had no audio.
Yeah. That's weird. I'm not sure what that's about.
It